Hello.
Hi,
Medical technology is, apart from biotechnology, for me, the most interesting discipline at the moment. Hello, I'm Greg from Gecco, and my guest today is Bogumiła Antończyk, a specialist for medical technology. Bogusia, please introduce yourself a little bit before we come to my questions.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Bogumiła Antończyk. I'm an engineer of human nutrition. Human nutrition means mathematics, physics, technology, chemistry, and biology, microbiology, etc. My job career started as analytics at the laboratory of food quality, food chemistry. Then I moved to medical devices in '96, working for the Swiss manufacturer Synthes. Now Synthes is a part of J&J Corporate, and they are manufacturers of orthopedics and trauma implants. Then from Synthes, I moved to Stryker, which is a huge competitor to Synthes, and it's absolutely great American company. When I was at that moment responsible just for quality and regulatory. At that time, Poland was out of EU, so the registration was lasting very long time. From Stryker, I moved to Abbott. I've started from IVD products, then moved to Abbott Vascular when Abbott acquired this business from Guidant. In 2015, I moved to Switzerland, was working for Bayer, again for IVD glucometers at the global headquarters. So it was fantastic experience for me. I learned a lot from my bosses, from my manager, Roger Sonnenburg, at the time. And in 16, I came back to Poland again, to Boston Scientific. I raised 2 managers and 10 specialists, and I love those people. Yeah, I mean, I love to transfer all my knowledge on all my experience in regulatory and quality to the people. I found it as my goal and the sense of my life. So now I'm a freelancer, and I will start my new challenges soon, working for a new company.
Yeah, thank you, Bogusia. Bogusia, we talk a lot about medical technology this day, and it's sometimes a bit difficult to put our hands around that. Is there a way to describe actually medical technology in a way that it gets more tangible?
Medical technology, medical devices started from simple finger patch that you are putting on your finger if you cut them, to the huge machines like MRI or pacemakers, which are very complex from technological standpoints. My products that I was working for the longest time in my life, stents, cardiological stents, which are quite simple in comparison to the magnetic resonance and all those PET machines used in diagnostics. So this is the huge range, or many different products, starting from very simple to very complex. And they have 4 classes. I mean, class 1 to A to B and 3, and active medical devices, like pacemakers, for example, just to clarify what are medical devices, if we think about them.
It is a very complex field, but as complex as the field, there are also the regulations that are valid in the EU, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, at this moment, we have, I think, first time in the EU history, in European history, we have both regulations which are valid and working at the same time. I mean, the former regulations that we call directives, for example, 93/42 Directive of Medical Devices, and completely new approach to the regulations that we call the MDR, Medical Device Regulation. And why it's so difficult? Because in parallel, both regulations existing, we have to adjust, we have to remember, and we have to reverse it somehow. to those products from themselves. Yeah, if you have the product certified under directives, you have to follow completely different regulation. If you have CE mark already certified under MDR, you have to remember about the changes. Yeah, the changes which are challenging. And what are the main changes between those two regulations? First, that the product could have different classification. Yeah, so the classes are a little bit different rules. You have to think about creation of the new technical documentation, which means sometimes also new clinical trials, clinical data. Why? Because MDR brings the much more, this is much more stringent. And if you have to upgrade your classification from 2A to 2B, then you have to think about the new clinical trials, about the new assessment of this product, because what does it mean, CE mark? That the product is safe. This is the clue: safe and efficient, and perform as it was intended by the designer of this medical device. So first, you have to prove it's safe, and at the same time, you have to prove that the hospital, the physician who will be using this product, it will be working efficiently, correctly in the human body if it's implantable. Yeah. So the challenge, if it comes to MDR, is that not just only adjusted the labeling, because it's completely new requirements to labeling. You have to remember that each product has UDI. UDI is unique device identifier. It means that each device, each item has completely different number, different UDI. And you have to apply on each label, each device. And apart from this, what is new under MDR, you have to remember about the chemicals, the substances of very high concerns, for example, phthalates, mercury, lead, and other chemicals, or hormone disruptors, that you have to check it out whether it's on the list, because its list is living, it's changing all the time. So you have to check it out. What is the concentration of this chemical in your product? If it crosses 0.1%, you have to put this information on the label, which is completely new. What does it mean? That you need more people that knows the completely different regulations. I mean, REACH regulations and EHA regulations, which are really, really complex and huge. So this is new. And that is why MDR is so challenging for everybody. You need more resources, more money, it's costly, more people to do this. You have to start from gapping and checking out whether your products meets the new regulations.
So there's a lot of things coming towards company producers of medical technology now. And obviously safety is one of the focus points of the new regulations. Is there anything else but the safety aspect that stands in the foreground of the regulations? Is there something else to
Yes. Yeah. What is new? The regulator, means European Commission, was thinking about the improvements of the safety of the medical devices after the huge affair we call PIP, with the artificial breasts, which are manufactured from technical silicon instead of medical silicon. And it was the input, the triggers, the new regulations and introducing new regulations. So the safety and the clinical trials and post-market clinical follow-up, which is completely new requirements. And that is why you need Gecco, you need people who will be taking care for, for supporting you in collecting all those clinical data. Because why? I mean, the clinical trial is starting from approving of ethical committee at the university. You cannot start any clinical research investigations with patients without getting approval from an ethical committee. So you have to get it first, and then you can start the registration of this clinical trial at the competent authority, I mean government. Yeah. So it's the first step, and it's from my perspective, why we are producing medical device for people, yeah, for patients. So patients first, yeah. Maybe it's not just the slogan, yeah, patient first, yeah, but this is the patient. We are also the patient. Everybody, we are the patient. So we expecting that the products we need or the service we need at the hospitals will be safe and will be efficient, not just wasting of humans' time, money. I think this is very natural that everybody wants to feel safe, very, very safe, yeah. And this regulation actually is so challenging because we have, as far as I remember, around 30,000 manufacturers in Europe of medical devices, and we have millions of medical devices on the market. And if it comes to the new regulations and in the knowledge that you have to adjust everything to the new regulations, you have to do this now. I mean, the clock is ticking, and I'm sorry, but the manufacturer has to find out money to adjust to the European regulations because it's a huge market of over 300 million people. So so it's so important.
Bogumiła, you said the clock is ticking. What does that in particular mean? So when will it ring?
Yeah, actually we have 20 of May, and the deadline for submission the applications to the notified body is on 26th of May if it comes to the existing product on the market. Yeah, so if you would like to still keep those products on the market, you have CE mark, which even are still valid or expired recently, due to the transition period agreed with European Commission, class 3 and 2B implantable devices can stay on the market to the end of the 2027, yeah, and for the other classes to the end of 28. But to do this and to keep the product on the market, you have to submit the application to the notified body by 26th of May 2024. So you have only 6 days. Yeah, and next deadline is September because it's a deadline for the agreements, legal agreements signed with notified bodies, and adjust your quality management system to MDR regulations. So that is why the time is ticking. We do not have time.
Now and also for the future, you see, there's a lot of things coming. The regulations are very complex. This is not just a 5-sheet paper. This is quite a big thing. And the deadlines to continue producing the medical technology due to the regulations. Let me ask directly, do you think that this is without a help possible for most of this 30,000 producers you mentioned? I would doubt that, but what do you say?
Yeah, I think, the companies, they need to outsource some services. Yeah. For example, clinical trials, which are usually outsourced to CRO companies. But I think that they have to, but they have to dedicate additional money if they would like to accelerate the clinical trials, because it means that they will place the product on the market and will have significant revenues only if they fulfill all requirements. Yeah. So that is why they need Gecco to support. Yeah. So for the clinical trials, also for post-market clinical follow-ups, which is completely new requirement. And it will be transparent because all those data, clinical data, safety data, summary safety and clinical performance must be placed on Udemy, which will be, transparent. Anybody can open it and check it out. Of course, it's mainly dedicated for physicians, and for the healthcare personnel, but actually the goal was that even patient can open Udemy and check it out, whether the product is CE mark certified, which means safe, and what are the data behind the certificate. So yes, for sure, companies must think about the external support from such consulting companies like Gecco.
Bogumiła, you said that transparency is one of the main points, but actually it cannot be in the interest of every producer to make any little detail transparent to the public. Are there some mechanisms to activate to protect also some data that shall be kept confidential?
I mean, there's always area of technology and company confidential data, mainly related to design of the product, of the specific medical device. So this is always confidential, I mean, all those informations. Despite there are some countries out of EU which requires everything, all data, even all those related to design, chemistry, it's tough, and they demand more, know-how. They would like to have know-how based on which they can create the new technology, the new medical device by themselves. So this is the issue for the companies. This is actually really great. Actually, it's a pain. It's a pain for them that they have to disclose so many data. But in EU, it's the secret actually between the company and the notified body. Because notified body who is auditing you has to audit you. So they are coming to the manufacturing site and they can check everything, absolutely everything. So
when we see the complexity and also the workload that is coming towards the producers of medical technological products, then actually we only can hope that the main goal, the main objective of the EU to make a product safer in that field will be reached at the end. So that shall be the positive effect at the end after all that work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the goal of the regulator, and the common sense thinking that, of course, regulation is more stringent, but at the end of the day, we have much more safe and efficient products on the market, and we cannot avoid it. I mean, if it comes to medical devices or pharma, you cannot avoid the regulation. You cannot sell. You cannot make the business without registration of the product. So you need the specialists. You need the people who knows how to conduct the clinical trials, and also how to get approval of ethical committee, what is important for patients. And, I think that of course, we have some moral or ethical questions more and more now. It means AI, artificial intelligence. Everybody speaks about AI, and AI, of course, are also the part of medical devices. And also, it's coming to physicians' words very, very intensively. Because now we have already the experiences with diagnostics, imaging diagnostics mainly, but not only. That the diagnosis actually and thesis are written by artificial intelligence instead of radiologists. So this is the huge question mark, ethical question mark, whether it is appropriate way to exchange physician by AI. Yeah, it's a huge question mark. Yeah.
I'm really grateful that you touched AI, because that would be my last question now. How do you see in the nearest future the role of AI in medical technology? Will it be the booster? Will it be a chance? Will it be risky in a way when it comes to safety and also to personal data? Where do you see AI in medical technology?
I think they are both. From one side, it's risky. From second is the opportunity. Some kind of boring job of regulatory writers could be exchanged by AI. For example, to create the technical documentation, which is, built in the specific frame. So you can use even lawyers now, which I heard, I was surprised that the lawyers, they do not open the act of law. They are using GPT-4 for finding, some asked questions, legal questions. But it's the same in medical devices, that you can use AI in creation of some kind of technical documentation, which is boring somehow. And from the other side, as I said, if we use it in diagnosis, which is related directly with patient, so you are putting your life, your health in hands of AI. Instead of humans being, of course, the humans are also, we are making mistakes. Yeah, humans make mistakes. So the question is, how far we would like to trust this AI? So mainly now AI is going to the huge machines like MRI, CT, computer tomography, PET, ultrasonography for diagnosis. This is what I know at this moment. And of course, AI is used, to reduce humans' works, on some kind of regulatory quality documentation, which is necessary to obtain CE mark in EU, and not only. So some are risky, some are beneficial. It's not easy actually to answer this question because it's new. But software, because of the fact that software in the face of MDR became the medical device itself as a software, it creates a lot of questions, because even me, I was never involved in CE marking of the software. Only in the machine where software was embedded as a part, it was a part of the machine. So there are very, very few, actually, specialists which know on how to CE mark the softwares. It's a completely new topic.
I think there's a lot of things coming towards us, and at once there will be ethical challenges connected surely too, but nothing that is not manageable. And I hope that in medical technology they will see the chances of that all. It is, as you said, very complex, and also new regulations have been implemented now that will mean a change also how to deal in production with that. But I really hope that we all will see the immense chances connected, especially with AI in all the fields. Bogusia, thank you very much for this interview today. This was Bogumiła Antończyk in our Gecco interview today.
My pleasure.
Guys, that's all, folks. See you out there. Gecco, turning challenges into opportunities.